Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Teemo, Spirit Blossom Teemo, and we'll be concluding our run against the 10-star adventure from the Nightmares campaign. Last time around we've actually been able to consistently kill the opponents before the extra plating expires, so I'd say we're on the right track when it comes to winning this adventure. We have a somewhat spell-centric build going on, and we can just play Spirit Blossom Teemo and just let him deal a bunch of damage to the opponent's board. He also clears the opponent's board on summon, which is helping a lot. I didn't expect the Wicked Harvest to be that good. I think it's only that good because of the Mischief Maker's Flute, though, because we summon Teemo and we get a bunch of Puff Cups right away because it's the Teemo dealing the damage. So that helps a lot as well. So hopefully we can win this adventure. So far the only way to deal with the larger threats is the coup de grace, so hopefully we can find some other ways to deal with, like the 1 mana 1990 that Zoe has and the Hearts of the Fluffed. Okay, Eclectic Collection, Crow Storm. Eclectic Collection is tempting because of the Power Riff. Disarmed. Disarm can sometimes mess up the opponent's draws. We have an epic shop right here, so maybe we should not spend too much money here, and let's not waste the rerolls here. Let's just pick up the damage reduction. And do I want to go for Eclectic Collection? Ooh, Ada Spirit is very tempting. I think since we're going for the shop, I might as well go for this as well. So yeah, let's not reroll anything at all. The only real question is, do I want to pick up the Eclectic Collection? And I think the answer is no, just because even though we have Lighting the Way to weave in spells every turn, unfortunately the Eclectic Collection doesn't really progress our game plan that much. It just shuffles traps into the opponent's deck. I don't think that's good enough. So yeah, let's move on. The Disarmed won't be too relevant. I guess it will be relevant against these small Poros, though. The opponent won't really have the ability to play or to threaten us with the Poros, at least by default. He will need to get a buff first. No Teemo is terrible for us. Yeah, this is like the worst case scenario. We desperately need Teemo in our opening hand to draw through our deck. I'm kind of tempted to just do this. That's exactly what I'm going to do. We need our Teemo. Therefore, we need to draw through our deck. There it is. There's our Teemo. This way we can get rid of most of the units on the opponent's board, at least. The opponent kind of... This is kind of bad position to be in. The opponent is going to get to level up the Poro King. I can do Most Wanted on the opponent, and I can also do Insider Knowledge. I can also just save this for the next turn. I'm going to pass. We'll save the spell mana for the next turn. Poro King doesn't level up here, actually. But we get a decent hit. We can do... I'm going to do this and Ollie there to go ahead and prevent the highest attack unit on the opponent's side from attacking. We can do wall up and dark binding to prevent a couple of attacks here. Specifically the ones that would kill the Spirit Blossom Teemo. I also have other options. I can do Shroom Explosion, debuff that. Let it strike into the Teemo.
Leave us alone.
What do I prefer? I also have Stress Defense. We Stress Defense there. And then we wall up at the same time. I think that's the correct play. Stress Defense. We wall up here. We get to go ahead and kill the Jubilant Poro. We also kill the Poro King here. In fact, we get a Poro King from the opponent. Well, at least we know the opponent has Poro King in hand. Poro King. Let's do Poro Herder. Poro Sled since it's free. Do I want to go for Poro King's Champion spell? I don't think so. This is fun. The Poro snacks are basically a Terrify button in case we need it. I don't think we need to Terrify the opponent right away though. Or at least not right now. 3 buff caps. Can do Fabled Poro here.
Ooh, quite a collection.
But we have a discount. I think Morgan is correct then.
Found such beauty in mortality.
Let's keep rocking Teemo, keep shuffling more buff caps into the opponent's deck. Is here. We'll Poro, Fabled Poro again. Peppermints, pepper snacks, huh? The opponent's screwing his Poros a lot. Have I played a spell this turn? I don't think so. Well, so let's insider knowledge here. It forces the opponent to reach the threshold for the Armless Scarecrow. Yeah, and we might take out the opponent as well. He's already drawing a lot. And he's also discarding a lot, in fact. Okay, the chain stopped here. No, the chain's still going. I guess that was the chain for just one of the cards he drew. Damn, is... I guess the deck is saturated with buff caps. Okay, finally the chain was broken. For a second there, it felt like we had reached the breaking point when it comes to getting card or hitting buff caps in the opponent's deck.
Be still.
Well, the opponent's guaranteed to die here. Even if we didn't get the buff caps, we had a massive board thanks to all the buff cards that we forced the opponent to discard from our power. Once again, we managed to beat the opponent on our second offensive turn. That's a good sign. What's not a good sign is all of these. Solarity is too slow. I guess Kelp Maidens, because it gives us board presence, but even then it's kind of terrible. 2 mana 2/1 twice is not good enough. But I don't want to spend too many rerolls. Your created cards cost 1 less. It procs on our power, or the cards we steal from the opponent with our power. Is that good enough? I don't think so. Let's reroll. Spell Slinger, Big Oldest Stash. We do care about the cost of our spells because we want our spells to be at least 3 cost. So while it seems good, unfortunately it's not good enough. It would kill most of the synergies with like this most wanted and the insider knowledge. Yeah, we'd much rather keep our spells costing a little bit higher. Stargazer. Let's go for the left or the rightmost path for the shop and the Ada Spirit encounter, and let's load up on a bunch of high value powers. I don't want to. I also didn't want to reroll too much there because we already spent too many rerolls. The opponent has the Grasp Cultist, and we don't get a Teemo. Yet again, no Teemo in our opening hand, even though we have like 2 Morganas and 5 Teemos in the deck. Let's see what's in the opponent's hand. Double Threshold of the Grey and 1 Buckeye Reaper. Let's steal the Threshold of the Grey. That was a good hit. A 5 attack unit. I could do Morgana. Let's do Threshold of the Grey. Maybe it dissuades the opponent from playing one of his cards. Never mind. Unfortunate part is the opponent's units are all freaking Titanic, so it's impossible not to get cursed here. At least the Kelp Maidens will shuffle more Puff Caps into his deck. But I don't have a lot of board presence and the opponent's units are all going to get extra stats. Harrowing Return. He has another Threshold of the Grey in hand. Well, I'm going to Harrowing Return in return, just to get the Chain Caster back and hopefully debuff the opponent's units.
You will all know fear.
Let's do Most Wanted on myself. I desperately need to get the Teemo, and because of that we need to dig through our deck. An Ancient Malediction. Guess we can debuff there. Jump block here. We can stun there. And we don't take a lot of damage, but we're taking a considerable amount. Let's get through in there. Let's prank the Terror just to increase the cost. Makes it harder for the opponent to get rid of that, I suppose. There it is. There's the Teemo finally. Took you long enough. Now watch as the opponent kills our Teemo immediately. Well, he only has one viable play in hand, unless he wants to override something for the Threshold of the Grey. And he really wants to override something for the Threshold of the Grey. But I can't let Teemo just die. So unfortunately, this is the spell that I just played, right? Yeah, let's rob the opponent of the Ancient Malediction. And then we can Grandma Inoki. Does that do anything? It can. Let's do Grandma Inoki. Maybe we hit a bunch of Puff Caps here. Okay, Stygian Onlooker is not a decent hit. At least for us. Spirit Fire, not good enough either. At least we level up the Teemo so we can start chipping away at the opponent's buff caps more. Or not buff caps, the opponent's units more. We did manage to hit the threshold for the buffs, and we did manage to steal Erastin from the opponent somehow. So I'd say we're in a very good position now, even though we just burned a couple of cards. I wonder if I'll be able to kill the opponent this turn. I'm just playing spells, trying to buff up the Teemo to the maximum. And then we attack with everything. The Erastins deal a lot of damage. And so does the Teemo. Even through the tough and damage reduced Nexus. And 125 buff caps in a 14 card deck, and the opponent only drew a single one. Okay, now that's more like it. That's more like it. Surely the opponent dies here. There is just enough density of buff caps in his deck. There we go. Okay. For a game where we didn't draw Teemo in our opening hand, that went exceedingly well. I'm really feeling like I need an extra Teemo now. Grandma Enoki, I'll settle for an extra Grandma Enoki. She is pretty good. Unfortunately, she's a play effect and not a summon, otherwise cheating her out in some way would be good. When your Nexus survives damage, reduce the cost of your highest cost card in hand by 1. I'm going to take it just because I want to save the rerolls for the Ada Spirit and the Stargazer encounters. I guess since we have a very large health pool, it can work in our favor. Every hit we take makes all of our other cards more playable. Let's skip the most wanted. Just in case I don't draw a Teemo in our opening hand. Still the Stilted Roadmaker. There's our Teemo. Surely the opponent doesn't have removal here, right? Let's try and bait out the removal by playing this first. Okay, no. Let's do this then. We deal 3 to our own unit, but it's okay. We shuffle more buff caps into the opponent's deck that way. Let's do Yoink. Still that thing. We don't want the opponent to have access to a lifesteal unit. That was a pretty good hit. We can do Insider Knowledge here. I'm going to do Insider Knowledge, then we can do the Dark Ball Acolyte. Every buff cap the opponent draws is more buff caps into his deck right now, because we have Teemo on the board and he has a bunch of units. Even if the buff caps are not dealing damage. Yeah, let's just attack with this. We don't deal a lot of damage, but we soften up the opponent's unit. We clear his board somewhat. We shuffle some more buff caps into his deck. He's kind of near the threshold where we buff up all of our units with the Armless Scarecrow. We burn a card here, but I think we have all we need in hand. Actually, no, we don't burn a card here. Well, let's listen all it there then. Let's see if the opponent... Yeah, does go for an attack. I guess he double casts Darkness at my Nexus, so that's pretty good. But we have Piercing Darkness, so we can heal ourselves a little bit. Let's drain 5 from there. Heal a little bit. Do I want to hit him with the most wanted? I'm going to hit him with the most wanted. And it was correct because we're actually hitting him for a lot. And this isn't even the main cast. All of our units are buffed. One's getting dangerously close to decking himself out. Okay, now it's stopped. But he has completely lost his board. And we have a very threatening board on the backswing. And we can force him to draw at burst speed, so there's a chance we just get rid of all of his Poros. Or that just happens, we just hit the buff cap right away. And we can go for an open attack. Wait, seriously? Damn, this opponent is unlucky. So far we've seen so many opponents that have 60 plus buff caps in their 15 card deck, and somehow they manage to dodge all of them. Meanwhile, this poor guy is just getting the worst luck possible. Poor guy. Well, I guess we did deserve that after getting so unlucky in some of the previous encounters. Rue, Mushroom Cloud. Yeah, let's pick up the Rue. A free Rue is nice. Since he is not 3+ anyway, it doesn't really matter. All allies are ephemeral is too hard to deal with. Let's just reroll once. Default charms are random ally, your spells and skills deal double damage. Can I afford to let the opponent charm? Steal a unit if you have room. At round end, return it if they have room. Wait, does that proc first before the opponent summons all the Poros, or does that proc afterwards? Because if that procs afterwards, that just never procs. And if that never procs, I just win. Well, let's try it anyway. I feel like taking risks. Let's see if this risk pays off. We have 100 health to work with. So we do have a decent amount of stuff that we can work with. No Teemo in the opening hand. That's atrocious. At least we can do Haunted Tomb to capture the Mordekaiser for a while. Let's do Most Wanted on ourselves because I need the Teemo. Instead we get the 2 Morganas. The 2 Morganas we have in our deck. We get those instead. I'm doing Most Wanted again, I don't care. Nope. The Most Wanted didn't work. Do I want to do Most Wanted again? I'm kind of tempted to do so. The opponent's going to get a full board of buffs. I'm going to wait a turn. Right, the curse. I also have to worry about the curse. All of my units getting cursed. Well, at least he's wasting that thing. And also Flash Freeze here to minimize damage taken. Maybe the play is just to beat the opponent by making him deck out with the Most Wanted. Well, let's Morgana the Morgana.
I have found such beauty in mortality.
See if the opponent decides to play his Shackles. It doesn't for some reason. Well, I'll take it.
bear this burden.
We release the Mordekaiser, but the Mordekaiser gets released into a full board. So at the very least we don't have to deal with all of the Mordekaisers. The opponent has a right to. What do I do here? Kind of tempted to just do shackles. I'm going to do shackles most wanted. Come on, Teemo! One time. Still no Teemo, somehow. At least the opponent's out of cards. More or less. And he's overriding his own units. Let's see what he has on top. It's Pyke and that. Let's do a dark binding there. So that setup so that we clear the spell shield on the Mordekaiser. Maybe do something else. Spectral Iron Hound is also good. Develop a couple more blockers. Guess I can do this. This all feels terrible. At least this shuffles more puff caps into the opponent's deck. Let's try and curse the Mordekaiser. That prevent at least one Mordekaiser from attacking, but it doesn't work because the opponent has spare mana anyway. And we're just letting him get bored turn after turn of buffs. Oh, and we get our own Mordekaiser. At least we have that going for us. Can we survive this turn though? That's the big question. We need to dark binding here. We need to dark binding here. We need to block here. We can't let the that Mordekaiser hit either. So I guess we throw the Ruin the way. And then we take 1 billion damage. Can't play spells except curses. I guess that's the game plan now. Or maybe that should have been the game plan from the start, just trying to force the opponent to deck himself out.
No half-mask can hide the torment you're truly in, Klaus.
Let's do this. Do this accidentally, but I wanted to play the Mordekaiser. Increase the amount of curse in the opponent's hand. Like so. Another full turn of buffs. Like the opponent doesn't have enough stats and enough keywords on his units. Wow, a Teemo now that the opponent's board is massive beyond belief. I shouldn't complain too much. At least he showed up eventually. And he's leveled up. Now we just need to force the opponent to draw all of his buff caps. That's a single one. Well, without the landmark on board, he shouldn't really be able to... Right, that's also a thing that happens. Let's stun there. Let's frostbite there. And I guess we're throwing the Lizandoli in the way. Morgana levels up, which is the first time that has happened in this entire run. Ooh, Mordekaiser's champion spell. I don't know if we'll be able to play it though. Actually, I have a plan. Since I can't use either one of these to block, let's do this on the Spirit Blossom Teemo. Make the attack on the Mordekaiser fizzle. But he gets another free attack because the ceaseless sentry dies. Well, at least now he is going to go through his entire deck extremely quickly because he has a billion buff caps in there. He might just kill him, die here now. Deserved, honestly. How unlucky can we be that we have 5 Teemos in the deck and we consistently keep getting none of them in our opening hand, even though we have a way to draw a champion at the start of the game. And even going through two. Actually, we went through Most Wanted. That's 6 cards we saw from the top of our deck, and we still didn't get the Teemo until the opponent had lost the landmark. That's got to be an achievement somehow. Let's speak the Fading Memories. It's kind of bad, but I can't really afford the other cards. Well, at least now our spells and skills deal double damage. Whatever that's worth. We only have 1 damaging spell and skill, but it's okay. Pop Blossom. When allies attack, deal 1 to all enemies and the enemy nexus. Increased 1 for each attacking ally with a subtype. How many subtypes we have? It's different subtypes or just subtypes in general? Attacking subtyped allies, so it doesn't even need to be different. The allies themselves just need to have subtypes. This somehow is not a Yordle. And this is nothing, but this is a dog. This is a Yordle. Spirit Blossom Teemo is a Yordle. Oh, we have a decent amount of allies that have subtypes, I guess. So sure. It's not the best legendary power, but it's a legendary power. Oh no, actually that has an extremely good synergy with the Get Jinx. Didn't even think about that, but yeah, Get Jinx will double the damage of the Pop Blossom by a lot. So you can do Pop Blossom alongside all of these different subtyped allies. That's going to deal a bunch of damage to the opponent's board and his nexus. There's our Spirit Blossom Teemo. Let's get that going right away. Used Firebrand. That's fine. I'll just do this. Do I do a Dark Mining first? No, let's just do Shadow Swindler. And Spell Cascade here. Because I don't want to lose the Spirit Blossom Teemo when I go for this attack. Let's see what's inside here. Definitely don't want the opponent to have that in the upcoming turns. Pretty good hits. And the Pop Blossom deals 8 to everything. So the opponent's entire board dies. Teemo doesn't get to strike at all, which is unfortunate. But we still dealt a considerable blow to the opponent by shuffling 28 buff caps in the opponent's deck. And the used Firebrand no longer has a spell shield, so we can probably do Insider Knowledge here, followed up by Dark Binding there. Just do this. Force the opponent to either not attack at all or attack with understated units. There we go, that's another chain, that's a chain that we have going on. I was kind of waiting for that. The opponent has a lot of buff caps in his deck by this point. It's still not enough to deny that though. One more hit though and we could kill both of them. I guess we just have to Bet that Grandma gets us there. Okay, Grandma got us there. Nice. Now we don't have to use the Dark Binding. And we have a bunch of cards from the opponent to play. Let's get the White Flame in there. It's fine if he kills that, honestly. We have so many different cards that we can play. Let's do Mountain Goat. I'm just going to cycle through all of these. Just because every time we play one, we shuffle 3 Puff Caps into the opponent's deck. Honestly, now that I think about it, I didn't even feel that Charm on the last encounter. Damn, that thing is anti-synergistic with the opponent getting a full board at the start of the turn. I guess it does proc after the opponent's board gets filled up. I think this is enough to close out the game, even without the opponent just getting extremely unlucky. I guess it's to compensate the poor luck on the last game. The opponent is killing himself on the Puff Caps. Even though they're getting... the amount is getting smaller and smaller. He is still dying. I guess we reached the critical mass of Puff Caps. Now we just need to do the same against the Heart of the Fluff encounter. We desperately need to play Teemo against it right away to kill all of the Poros that give buffs first and foremost. Let's take another Grandma, I guess. And then after that, we need to hopefully get something that removes the potential Overwhelm or other forms of evasiveness the opponent might get on his attacking turn. Definitely keeping the Spirit Blossom Teemo. I'll keep the Rue. I'll keep the Flash Freeze as well. I guess that's our game plan. Poro Stories at the start. I've gotten something better. Let's do the cheaper Teemo first. Pretty good hit there. The opponent no longer has a board of Poros to steal the stats onto the Heart of the Fluff. Well, I guess he uses the single Poro sled, but that's okay. Let's do Poro Stories, just because it gets us some extra units. Then we can do this. Yeah, this is fine. We shuffle a few more Puff Caps into the opponent's deck. And we also discount the cards in our hand. We can potentially go for a Grandma next turn. That can be pretty decent. No Overwhelm, no Spell Shield, no nothing. That's a pretty good situation to be in. We even get the Stress Defense in hand, so the opponent might do... Okay, it doesn't do Heart of the Fluff like I wanted him to. It's okay. Just do this. Let's have Teemo block there to have him deal 5 damage. Shuffle more Puff Caps thanks to the Mischief Maker's Flute. Ooh, 3 Poro Snacks, don't mind if I do. The opponent probably plays the Heart of the Fluff right now. No, it does have Poro first. Do I want to pull the trigger on the Grandma? Because the Grandma here probably either levels up Teemo or shuffles a bunch of Puff Caps into the opponent's deck. I think I'll pull the trigger on the cheaper Grandma since we're no longer under threat of the opponent attacking us. Just because it shuffles a bunch of Puff Caps into the opponent's deck and levels up the Teemo in the process. We can fill our hand with Poros with the Poro Stories. That probably won't be too good. But I'm still going to play them anyway because it gives Teemo some extra items. Yeah, let's do Poro Sled. The opponent plays Art of the Fluff. And now he no longer has a white board. Instead he has a tall board, but he doesn't even have good keywords on the Art of the Fluff. 66 buff caps, 17 cards in deck. Have we reached the critical mass? I don't think so. Not yet, at least. Yeah, not yet. But the next turn, if we don't kill the opponent this turn, he might just die to the buff caps now. In fact, let's just do this. These two get, the other two get killed, the Poros. Okay, no, we just have enough damage to kill the opponent. Everything has a keyword or a subtype, so that means the whatever it's called, the power, the Pop Blossom, just deals 14 to everything, 7 to the opponent's nexus, then my overstated units just seal the deal. Okay, I think the only thing we need to worry about in the last encounter is the Catastrophe, the 1 mana 1990. Everything else is pretty manageable. We don't clear the Zoe and the Poro King right at the start. But no, we kind of need to though, in order to deal damage to the opponent's nexus and get that going. Do I want entrapment? I'll keep the entrapment in Southern Knowledge as well. Maybe we steal something good from the opponent. We steal the Go Hard, which is necessary because for some reason we don't draw Teemo in our opening hand. Let's remove that thing's spell shield. Might as well. There it is, there's our Teemo. Let's get Teemo down. Here goes Poro Snacks. He has a black market merchant in hand. At least now we know. Let's kill the Zoe here. Do I do entrapment? Let's entrapment the opponent. A spell. Do I want to bury the nice crystal arrow or let's take the bury the nice. It might be more impactful, and it will warn us if the opponent does get the bury the nice. Ooh, that's some pretty good hits. We can capture the Poro King. We can capture the... Oh no. We need to release the Teemo fast. I don't want the opponent to have Minimorph, no.
Don't ask where it's from, ask how much.
Let's do that there. Maybe we draw into Spirit Blossom Teemo actually. Yeah, we draw into Spirit Blossom Teemo.
New recruit reporting in.
This might be a mistake because it releases the skips though.
Prepared for any game.
Or the unit we captured with the skip. But we're shuffling a bunch of buff caps this way, so it might be worth it to be honest. We just steal the same card yet again. And I'll do the Kelp Maidens. It's kind of wasted at the end, but whatever. Poros. Few buff cap hits, another skip. You can potentially capture my unit yet again. Uses Most Wanted on himself. What an interesting play. I guess it does terrify me in the process instead of the opponent. But you drawing through your deck actually benefits me a bit more, I think. Especially with two Teemos being summoned onto the board now that the skip is released. Ooh, 1 mana very nice. I can see the opponent's hand and I don't like what I'm seeing. Let's go hard there. The opponent will get to bury the nice these two. Or he might just not bury the nice at all because he sees that I have a lot of units that have spell shield, so it might seem like a waste for him to do so. Okay, now he buried the nice is the skip. Wastes the spell shield on 2 of my units. We can do very nice just to shuffle that back into our deck, I guess. 1 mana buried nice can't be too bad. He attacks. We have flash freeze for that attack. We can chain some discards from the opponent. We have a lot of cards from the opponent that I would really like to play, but the opponent doesn't have viable targets. Let's do another very nice, I guess. It buffs up my units. I can do skip. Try to... I'll just do this to see the opponent's hand. Okay, let's capture his skip. Avoid that being a problem in the future. I can even polymorph my own unit. Silences the fact that he has a unit in there, so he can't get that back. That's definitely correct. 9 puff caps. Every Teemo deals 3, so the amount of puff caps we're getting in the opponent's deck is doubled. Pack your bags. Well, that's a free pack your bags. So I'm going to take that. Even though it doesn't clear the board, we don't need it to. Go hard, that's fine. I could go for an attack here, but I really want to ensure the opponent's dead. Ooh, Poro King. That's a nice hit. Alright, very nice is a thing that exists. Let's do Insider Knowledge then. That's a wasted catastrophe, that's a very good hit. That's a 3 mana or free C3 Lady of Clouds. The opponent's getting hit with a lot of buff caps. The opponent has a lot of buff caps in the deck, and I guess we can do C3 over this unit. This is a Prankster King. The Prankster King? Oh, right. The Spirit Blossom Teemo. Zoe. Skip King of the Reef. Well, I can play Teemo here then. It will be a pretty good hit. Get another Teemo in there. And I do have a bunch of rally effects in hand. So I might as well just go for an attack. I might just be able to kill the opponent with the units I currently have. Does the opponent have a way to prevent me from killing him? I wonder. Let's do Champion Strength. I could do Most Wanted on the opponent. Let's see what happens if I do Most Wanted on the opponent. Let's see if we can force him to hit the threshold where all of my units are buffed up. Not like we desperately need the buffs. Okay, no, the opponent is just at a critical mass of buff caps where he just takes a billion damage every card. Okay, that was fun. We got to steal all of the opponent's broken cards and play with them. Feels kind of cathartic to be able to shove all of the unfair tactics against the final boss. What a run. But yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.